People should go to this play at the Hollywood Fringe Festival because it's a chance to experience David Mamet. It's a chance to experience two first-class players doing first-class work. And it's a chance to sit down and be challenged rather than just entertained. Hello, my name is Miguel Perez. I'm the director of Oleanna by David Mamet at the Hollywood Fringe Festival in June. It's a heck of a show. And if you want to know more about it, stick around. You're going to hear a lot. That's an interesting story. I saw the play when it was first produced. I was at Harvard University. I was an artist in residence there, and David Mamet was directing his new play, Oleanna. This was like the early 90s. And so, I went down to catch it, and it was infuriating. Me Too hadn't happened yet. A lot of things hadn't happened yet. I think that the world was different at that time. So I was infuriated by the idea of this professor being brought down by a kind of a revolutionary new view of the world. And Mamet directed it very much in favor of the plight of the professor. And I bought into it. It was interesting. It caught my interest. Plus I loved the language of it. And so I went and saw it a couple of times with Bill Macy, and I think it was Rebecca Pidgeon in the show. And I was intrigued. Then a few years later, I was asked to play the role of the professor, John, opposite the wonderful young actress named Ariel Zevon, the daughter of the great rock star, Warren Zevon. And we did it at Third Street Theatre and got a lot of good notices. And I was still interested in the idea of this professor going along with his life and somehow being pulled down. And because I was playing the role, of course, I was very much in favor of the professor. But I began to hear, Ariel's a wonderful, wonderful actress. And I began to see that character's side of it, because Ariel, so sensitive, so powerful in her interpretation, really started to sway me and started to make me question the position and the privileges that this professor enjoyed, just conferred upon him because of who he was and his gender and his upbringing. But by the time we closed that, I was sort of done with the piece. I wanted nothing to do with it anymore. It was done. I thought I'd gotten everything I could out of it. Then I started teaching. Many years later, I started teaching. My students started bringing the play, scenes from the play, to me to work on in studio. And by that time, Me Too had happened. By that time, perspectives had changed. By that time, I had been educated more about the ideas of gender, what's the word I'm looking for? The disparities in privilege between genders, the patriarchy, Me Too. And as my students were playing the piece for me and, with me, I began hearing lines that I should have known, but felt that I hadn't heard before. And I realized that 30 years down the line, the play had remained the same, but my perspective had changed. And two students of mine were having a tremendous amount of success in the way that they were going through the play, the way they were reading it, the way they were seeing it. And I said, well, let's do this. Let's take it all the way. And I should say former students, because the student-teacher relationship had pretty much come to its end, and so we became colleagues. And I said, okay, let's mount this. Let's do it. Fringe Festival's coming up. The timing was just right. That decision came just at the right time to start putting together a creative team, and we just did it. It just happened. Fundraising went smoothly, and now we're in the throes. We're at the point now. We're on our feet. We're in the theater space. We're putting the finish on it, and we have a new perspective, a perspective that wasn't there before. Basically, it's this. Back in the 90s, the dramatic question for this play was, what happens if two sides of an argument are wrong? And now today, after so much time and so much upheaval in society, the real dramatic question of this play is, what happens if two sides of an argument are right? And that's a much more explosive question. And it makes for a lot of conflict and a lot of fireworks in this play. Lucky me, all of my first choices for this creative team were available at the moment that I needed them, which is very rare. I needed someone to help hold my hand through the producing process, because I've never produced a play before. I've directed a few times, and I've played in many plays, but I've never really taken on the producing duties. And so my old friend Darcy Lee, the classiest, most marvelous producer, we were talking on the phone. I mentioned I want to do this. She says, well, you need some help. I said, yes. Darcy and I go back to when we were both acting in Cyrano de Bergerac at a brave little theater in Pasadena called the Knightsbridge Theater. I played Cyrano, she played Roxanne, and the play kept getting extended and extended and extended because it's just a wonderful story. And every night I was saying all these beautiful, loving, adoring things to Darcy, and I fell madly in love with her. But it was, this platonic adoration that continues to this day. But she's been just my rock in terms of the production side. My old friend Anita Lee, Cooker and Lee publicists, they arranged this moment here. And once again, that's a relationship that goes back to, the 1980s in Jersey City, when Anita and her then husband and me and my then wife were neighbors, and our children were born about the same time, and we took turns babysitting. My cast, oh my gosh, Claire Wagner, who had been a student of mine at the Art of Acting Conservatory, so mature and so clever for for an actor still at the early parts of her journey. But she's so, I don't even know how to explain it. She's like this prodigy. She's able to come up with ideas that someone of her years shouldn't be having. She's even though she's in her 20s, she's 150 years old. Just a wonderful player to work with. And then Jean-Michel Richaud, who came to me through my association with wonderful voiceover director and theater director too, Sergine Dumais from Montreal. Jean-Michel he's an actor manager in his own right. He tours Leonard Nimoy's play all over the country, and we were doing a workshop together with Claire, and he had just enough time in his schedule open to do this play. So here we go, and then so many of my former students have stepped up and said, no, can we help with this? Can we help with that? I have several of them, Ahash Francis and Anya and Lola Darzans from Paris. they just want to see how can we help out. They've been consulting and helping out with script, with holding the script, prompting, helping me move furniture. It's a team that came together in the most natural of ways. It's a team of people who all see the world in a similar way, and who all, lucky me, trust the way that I see this story, and want to help me to bring that to fruition, and at the same time bring their wonderful and unique visions to the story as well. And all of that has just served to make the whole so much greater than the sum of the parts. I thought a lot about what I want to leave the audience with when they're finished seeing the way we tell this story and hearing the way they tell this story. And my hope is that when that final shocking moment is complete, my hope is that the audience will be left feeling upset and feeling an emotional and societal void that they need to help to fill. My hope is that they'll leave feeling disturbed and anxious to do something about the way we conduct ourselves in our society. To tell you the truth, when I direct, I generally don't watch performances past opening night. But on opening night, what I do look for is I look for an opportunity to sit back and see the play as an audience member, rather than as the director who's tried to engineer this thing. I just look for how it unfolds as it is. Every performance is a unique thing, and I look to be surprised by the things that we never planned. They happen in every performance, and sometimes they're magical, wonderful things. Other times they're things that, oh, geez, they really coped with that well. But now, once I'm done with my part of the job, I'm just looking to be delighted by what the players bring to the moment. And those moments, that's exciting. People should go to this play at the Hollywood Fringe Festival, because it's a chance to experience David Mamet. It's a chance to experience two first-class players doing first-class work, and it's a chance to sit down and be challenged rather than just entertained. The Hollywood Fringe Festival is a must-see for anyone who lives here in, for anyone, period. Because it's this smorgasbord of theater experience. There's plays that will make you laugh. There's little performance pieces that will make you cry. There's such a depth of talent in writing, playing, directing, designing, and I mean it's an opportunity to just dive into the deep end of creative theater endeavor and swim to your heart's content. I love it, because every time I've gone to the Fringe, I've seen something that I never expected to see. I was introduced to some ideas and some comic ideas that I never had encountered before. And I never have come away anything but delighted and enthused, and it always gets my theatrical juices flowing, and I start to get creative again just from the experience of witnessing and diving into all of that wonderful creativity. So go see the Fringe Festival. Just go, just show up. Throughout history, artists, in order to make art, they needed somebody to feed the muse. Whether it was Shakespeare and his patrons, or Picasso, Michelangelo, you name it. There's artists need someone or some group to pay the bills so that the art can get made. And it's no different. It's no different for me or for any of the creative team that we formed. One of the first things that we did was set up a GoFundMe campaign, and basically the theme of the GoFundMe campaign is help us to tell an important story. And basically, we just sent out the word to all of our colleagues, all of our friends, everyone, that we're trying to do something important, and that any amount of help is accepted with deep gratitude. The GoFundMe campaign is still up, and if anyone would like to be a theater angel, all you have to do is send $1, send $5. Anything is accepted, and anything is something that we're grateful for. Even if what some of the folks who donated to us weren't able to donate money, but what they did donate was taking some time to tell their friends about the play and to encourage them to donate. Even that time, even that desire is a donation of tremendous value to us. And as I've said to many of the folks who have underwritten our efforts, $1 donated to the arts is a vote for a better world. And we're pure in our intentions. We're trying to do something worthwhile. And I think that the folks who've donated, and that all of you, you know who you are, I'm so grateful, because they've really come through for us in a big way. And we're waiting for you with open arms if you would like to come and join that group of facilitators. I like that better than donors, facilitators, because there's going to be other projects down the line. This creative team is more than just lightning in a bottle. I think we have more stories to tell down the line. My name is Miguel Perez. I'm lucky enough to have a team around me that all believes that that the story of Oleanna by David Mamet is a story you need to hear. And I would encourage you to come down to the Hollywood Fringe Festival. We open June 3rd and run throughout the month of June, and sit down and listen to us tell this story for you. You will not be disappointed. You may end up feeling kind of angry, but you won't forget the evening you spent with us. I promise you that. We won't waste your time.